Namaskar everyone and welcome to day 20 of our Dhanurmasa Satsang. Lakshminatha Samarambham Nathayamuna Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Yo Nityamachyuta Padambuja Yukma Rukma Vyamohatastaditarani Trinaya Mene Asmadgurur Bhagavatosya Dayaika Sindho Ramanujasya Charanau Sharanam Prapadye आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम् यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारी परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम् कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम् वेदवेद्ये परे पुंसि जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदप्राचेत सादासीत् साक्षात् रामायणात्मना. With prayers at the lotus feet of Sri Rama and Acharya, let us take our topic. So today we are going to see what happens next. We saw in the last satsang how messengers were sent to Kekaya Desha to bring back Bharata and Shatrughna. So as per Vasishta's orders, those messengers go there and they have been instructed that just go and tell Bharata that the royal priest means Vasishta Rishi, and other ministers are asking about your welfare. Come forth by starting quickly. There is a very urgent work with you. So Vasishta has very clearly asked the messengers not to convey about the passing away of Dasharath Raja. He's just told the messengers that you must say that everybody is worried about your welfare and you come immediately because there is some urgent work that you have to do. So these messengers, they travel very fast and rapidly by some shortcut routes and all that. And they reach Kekaya Raja. And it so happens that they reach on one particular night. And early in that morning itself, before daybreak, Bharata has had a very bad dream. He has had a nightmare. And in that, he has seen some horrible scenes which indicate to him that there is some kind of a disturbance and some problem to do with his father and his health. So when he wakes up from that nightmare, he has some kind of fear in his mind, and whatever he does, he is not able to get rid of that fear. So he is already having this thought in his head that something is not proper in Ayodhya. And then the messengers come and they give the message, and they are not ready to say anything more than that. So immediately, Bharata and Shatrughna, they leave from there. However, they have to travel quite a long distance. So finally, when they reach Ayodhya, it is after 7 days. And when they reach there, they are shocked because in that time that they have been away, it seems as if this entire city of Ayodhya has changed into a forest. And in fact, Bharata notices that everybody is very depressed and sad. There is none of that usual joy and warmth that Ayodhya has. Then he sees that, in fact, many people, on looking at him when he's coming in the Ratha, people who look at him, some of them, they look very angrily on him. And some of them, they turn their face away. They don't even want to look at him. And nobody talks to him, nobody hails him, nothing. Everyone is giving him a kind of silent treatment. So he's quite worried and saying, this is all abnormal. And he comes in that mood of worry and tension. He goes to his father's palace, but there is nobody there. He wants to pay respects to his father's, no one is there. So he goes to Kaikeyi's palace. And there he asks, where is father? Why I was not able to find him there? Where is he? I want to offer my namaskar to him. And then Kaikeyi tells him, Valmiki Shloka says, Ya gatihi sarvabhutanam tam gatim te pita gataha. Raja Mahatma Tejasvi Yayajukah Satam Gatihi. Your father, who had such a noble nature, King Dasharatha, he was so much respected and he used to always do yajna and all that. He went to that loka where all people have to go ultimately. He reached to that place where ultimately everybody has to go. That is what Kausalya tells him. So he's shocked. Bharata is shocked. But I never knew anything about my father's bad health. What happened? Did he fall sick? What happened? Like that. And then he says, how could my father have died? And he asks, what did my father say when he was dying? Because he's very curious. If my father has died in such strange circumstances, all of a sudden like this, then maybe he has told something to me, and that's why I was sent with the message that I have to come urgently. So he asks, what did my father say when he was dying? So Kaikai tells him that he called out for Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana, and he left his life. So Bharata is now even more shocked. He says, why were they not here? Were they not taking care of my father? Where have they gone? So then Kaikai says, they have gone for Vanvas. Now Bharata is even more shattered. And he says, what is this? Why did Rama have to be going to Vanvas? What did he do? Because normally there is Vanavas is prescribed as a punishment for people who do certain crimes. So he lists all those crimes and he says, did Rama do this? Did Rama do that? Did Rama do that? And at that time, Kaikeyi is forced. She admits that Rama is so good that he didn't do any of these wrong things. But I am the one who took this vow from him. And then, very proudly, with lot of joy, Kaikeyi recounts the entire story, what all happened, like right from the time when the king Dasharatha was planning for Rama's Patyabhisheka to this moment. She tells everything, thinking that Bharata will be very happy with her. But see how unfortunate she is. Sadly, she has mistaken Bharata completely. And hearing all this, Bharata is aghast. He's very angry and he fumes at her. He says all kinds of rude things to her. He says, how can you be such? You are like a demoness. You are solely responsible for the death of my father. Because it is because of you that this Vamsha will go to ruin. What you have done, you are not even aware that how wrong a deed you have done. And he is so completely heartbroken that he falls down and he's kind of, like in some unconscious state, and he's lamenting that, oh, how could this happen? If only I had been here. Why did Rama have to go? He could have refused to go. And like this, he goes on crying and lamenting. Then, seeing the state of Bharata, this Kaikai tells him, get up, Uttishta, she says. And then she says, Raja. Now, he's shocked. Bharata is shocked. Whom you are calling as Raja, he says. He stands up in that shock. He who was fallen on the ground and lamenting becomes alert and he says, whom are you calling as Raja? So she says, you, now you are the Raja because I have taken that as the boon. So Bharata is angry to the core now. And he says, what do you mean by saying I will be Raja? I am considering myself that I am a Dasa of Rama. How can I be Das? How can I be the Raja? When Rama is alive and well, I can never bear. And moreover, this Rajya Bhara is too big for me. How can I bear that alone by myself? What is my capability? If Rama and Lakshmana are here, Rama will be the Raja. How can I carry this load of this kingdom? I can't do that. There is no way that I am going to become the king. I will bring back Rama at any cost, he vows. He takes a pratignya like that. And then he is so sad and so angry at his mother that he says, this is not the right place for me. What must Kausalya be thinking of me? What will Sumitra be thinking of me? They must be thinking that I have also plotted along with you. No, I have to go to Kausalya right now and make sure that, she knows that I'm not party to this. And I want to go and console her for having lost her son to the forest like that. So Bharata goes to Kausalya. The minute Kausalya sees Bharata coming, she also misunderstands him. She says, come, come, Bharata, have you come to be the king now? You can take the kingdom, it is all yours. And what is the use now of me staying here? Even my husband has departed. So there is no need for me to stay here anymore. You please make arrangements. You send me and Sumitra, both of us, you send us away to wherever Rama is in the forest. And you and your mother can rule here very happily, says Kausalya. And then Bharata is very hurt by this. He says, you are justified in thinking what you are thinking. But I don't know who has given this horrible advice to Rama to go to the Vanvas like this. And then Bharata makes a big list. He says, if I have done, like whoever told Rama to go to the forest, let this Papa come to them. Let this Papa come to them. Like that, he makes a very big list of different Papas. And he says, whoever has given Rama this advice or this instruction to go to Vanavas, let them get all this Papa. And then in another way, he also says, if I am guilty that I have done hatched a plan with my mother, then let all these papas come to me also. And hearing all these terrible oaths that Bharata is taking, Kausalya is now convinced. She melts and she says, "Oh Bharata, I know I took the wrong viewpoint of your involvement, but now I know you enough. You don't say any more things. I know you are not party to this." And she forgives him. She says, "No, I haven't. I'm now aware that you have not had any role in this. But what to do? It is our misfortune now that Rama is not here and Dasharatha has departed." So by that time, Vasishta Rishi comes there, he hears of Bharata's arrival, and then he tells Bharata and Shatrughna that you should be performing the last rites now. Already it is late, for so many days we have waited. So they then, under the guidance of Vasishta Guru, Bharata and Shatrughna together, they perform all the funeral rites for Dasharatha Raja. So we will pause our story for here for today, and let us just see what we can learn from this. Firstly, there are two lists that I talked about. So the first list is the list of crimes, the list of wrongdoings for which a person may be given vanavas as punishment. What are those? First, if someone steals the wealth of a brahmana, that person should be sent to vanavas. If somebody does harm and gives trouble to any virtuous man, anybody who is of good virtue, whether that person is rich or poor, if such a person is harmed by someone, then that person should be sent to the forest. If somebody desires the wife of another person, then that person should be sent to the forest. So that is why Bharata is shocked. He can't imagine Rama doing any of these things. And that is why he asks Kaikeyi that what crime did Rama do for which he had to go to Vanavas? And immediately, even Kaikeyi is forced to say that Rama didn't do any of these wrong things. And in fact, here she says that Rama doesn't even look at the wife of others with his eyes. So, where is the question of him desiring somebody else? So, that was the greatness of Rama. Now, why these lists are given to us? To show us that such is the grave punishment that comes when we do wrong things. Now, there are people who are doing all these things, but they are not given vanavas because there is no such rule in present times, right? But although they may not get vanavas, definitely we can understand that these are very grievous acts and they are considered to be fully criminal in nature. And even if you don't, the law doesn't punish you for this, but God is always there with his account keeping. And all these will count for papas, they will count for, subtractions in our list. So they will definitely pull us to Naraka. Then the other list that we talked about, that Bharata was making shapatas, right? He was taking vows with Kausalya. At that point, he listed so many sins. So I will just read through this and let us be aware that all these are sinful activities. They are offenses. And the punishment for that is that we will earn papa. And that is why we must be very careful that in no way we do any of these wrong deeds. So, kicking a sleeping cow, answering nature calls by facing the sun, getting work done by a servant and then not paying him. If the king takes revenue from the people and then does not protect them in return, breaking the promise of giving dakshina to a priest for a yajna, eating food without offering it to God, lacking respect for the guru, abusing elders, deceiving friends, eating delicious food alone without sharing with others, killing a king, a woman, an old person, or a child, abandoning someone who is dependent on you, caring for one's family by earning money through the sale of liquor, flesh, or poison, fleeing, running away from a battle, distributing gifts to those who are undeserving, sleeping at the time of dawn and dusk. Dawn is the time when the sun is about to rise, and dusk is the time when the sun is about to set. So, anybody who sleeps at this two times of the day will get a lot of papa. Next, setting fire to some place, cheating a friend, not respecting one's mother, not giving alms to beggars, ignoring one's own wife and desiring and courting another woman, polluting drinking water, not giving water to another person, and being witness to a quarrel but not doing anything to make peace between those parties. So these are just some of those things which I took. There are many others in that list, and anybody who's interested can refer to that particular shloka and that particular sarga and find out. But what we need to understand is, so vast is this list of papas, and we need to examine ourselves and see if we are party to any of these. Then definitely our list of papas is going to increase. So we must use this knowledge for making sure that we don't commit these mistakes and we walk on the path of dharma. Now here, another thing we can see and clearly notice is that Bharata is very reluctant to take up the role of the king, right? He doesn't want to take up the rule of the kingdom. What is the reason for this? And this is in sharp contrast to what is the normal attitude that we see among most people. Now, what is the reason for this? We will come to in tomorrow's session. But for now, let us understand that this Bharata's attitude is that he always wants to be considered, he always looks upon himself as a dasa of Rama. He wants to be the servant of Rama. He doesn't want to be the boss. He doesn't want to be the Raja, right? This is in sharp contrast to most people. Nowadays, especially when we see everybody wants to be the boss, nobody wants to be das, and everybody wants to throw their authority around. Everyone wants to have the say in deciding how things are done. Everybody wants to be the decision maker. Everybody wants to have the right to tell other people or force other people to do what they want, right? So everyone wants to be the boss. Nobody wants to be the das. And that is what is responsible for a lot of conflict in our lives today. If only we learn to give up this boss mentality and somewhere start adopting the das mentality, then our life will become smoother and more peaceful. So we've covered some small topic today. Let us pray to the Lord to bless us with the ability to adopt these things in our life. And let us express gratitude, Kritagnyata, for being able to learn these things from the Ramayana. मङ्गलं कोसलेन्द्राय महनीयगुणाब्धये चक्रवर्तीतनूजाय सार्वभौमाय मङ्गलं वेदवेदान्तवेद्याय मेघश्यामलमूर्तये पुंसां मोहनरूपाय पुण्यश्लोकाय मङ्गलं पितृभक्ताय सततं भ्रातृभिः सह सीतया नन्दिताखिललोकाय रामभद्राय मङ्गलं श्रीमते रघुवीराय सेतुलङ्घितसिन्धवे जितराक्षसराजाय रणधीराय मङ्गलं मङ्गलाशासनपरेर्मदाचार्यपुरोगमैः सर्वैश्च पूर्वैराचार्यैः सत्कृतायास्तु मङ्गलम्. Thank you everybody, and we will meet again in tomorrow's satsang. Namaskar.